Well, good morning. I had to check the clock to see what time it was. Last night was a late night for me. I was in one of those moods where I was like, yeah, I don't want to wake up to those dirty dishes. Yeah, I don't feel like I want to wake up and vacuum tomorrow. So I stayed up kind of late, made it to the gym, had a fantastic workout, and I'm sitting in the parking lot talking to you as I often do after a workout and I'm recovering, and wanted to talk to you about a thought that I had as I was driving in today. And when I drive to this gym, it takes me a good solid half hour. So I am able to listen to some good music, and sometimes some songs come on that I haven't heard in a while. And one of the songs that came on was by Seether. And I think it's Rise Above This, and he says, like, rise above this now. And it's just such a great song. And I thought, gosh, you know what? I think it's about a relationship, and as most ballads are. But I really got to thinking about it, and I thought, there are so many things in life that we tend to allow to pull us down instead of rising up. And one of my greatest lessons was, I remember in my younger 20s, and I was just a very insecure girl. I just felt inadequate, always needed validation, was always looking for other people to kind of tell me what to do in my life. I really didn't have that sense of direction and self-guidance and all of that. And thank the Lord, I got into personal development, which is a huge, huge part of my life and always has been. And actually started with Tony Robbins and Dennis Waitley. I don't know if any of you know who Dennis Waitley is, but I used to listen to his cassette tapes. But anyway, that song made me think back to a time when I wasn't able to rise above. I was worried about what other people were thinking. And I worked at Ford Motor Company at the time, and everybody there, they made you feel like if you didn't have a college education that you were just not worthy. And I believe that. And it's funny because looking back at that now, I'm thinking, if I rose above any disbeliefs or rose above any of those feelings of inadequacy, I really should have not listened to those people. I mean, trust me, Ford Motor Company was a great job, but it wasn't for me at all. It was very, it was fun at the time, but anyway, and at the time, I was also in a relationship, and it wasn't really the best relationship, and I really sacrificed who I was because of other people's insecurities around me. So really think about who you're surrounding yourself by. And I know I tell you this all the time, but it is so important because it could be very toxic. And feeling like you are not, when you're not living in your purpose and when you are not in alignment, because there's something within. It's like a fire that wants to just explode within you. So if you feel like that, look at your surroundings, look where you're working, look who you're in a relationship, who are you living with, that type of thing. Now, family, that's another thing, because you can't get rid of your family, but you can certainly keep them at arm's length if you need to. And sometimes you need to, and it's okay, because if your family loves you and they want you to be your best self, they will say, hey, take all the time you need so that you can figure out your boundaries and what it is that you need to do. I had to take a sabbatical from my family at one time. This was years ago, but I had to figure out what was going on with me. I was not in a good place. I was very depressed. I was just, I felt that fire. Something wasn't right. My job wasn't right. My relationship wasn't right. I was just, thank God I still have the same girlfriends that they knew that I was going through something, but they never left. They never left me. They always just said, I'm here when you need me. And they would check on me every once in a while because, it got pretty dark and deep and yucky. But thank God I was able to rise above And I did a lot of inner work. I did a lot of inner work. And there was a book that was called, I have to think of it, but it was a lot of journaling and all of that. But it helped me kind of, rise above and look at the fact that, sometimes you just have to say, I don't really give a rat's ass what you think or what you think or what you think. This is what is best for me. Okay? And sometimes that can be a scary place to be in, but it can also be the best decision that you ever made in your life. Like my job at Ford Motor Company, it didn't really end very well. We were basically both in agreement that it wasn't the best place for me. And, I took a buyout, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I met some great people there, and I have some lifelong friends from that place, but it was not in alignment with me. And, a lot of positive things came out of those decisions and those bad times in my life. But I know that I was given a lot of those struggles and challenges and things because I know that it is my purpose to help teach others. And that is what we are all here for, is that we are here to help people that may be struggling with the same thing. So maybe somebody hearing this message today, or if you know of somebody that could really relate to this message, please share it. But my experiences happen so that I can help somebody else and let them know that it is okay. And people can relate to you. And a lot of people go through this. Not everybody's life is all rainbows and unicorns and all, happy, 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 because not everybody is willing to share those vulnerabilities. But I think vulnerability is beautiful, because when you can share your deepest, darkest moments, it really does something for yourself, and then it also helps somebody else. So here is my message today, is rise above any self-doubt. Really feel what your needs are, and not what somebody else thinks is best for you. You be very careful with who you surround yourself with, and very careful with what they tell you. Oh, I think you should. Well, be careful when they tell you that, because sometimes they're telling the I think you shoulds to you so that it works out in their favor. Does that make sense? So just listen, respect, honor, take the advice, but it doesn't mean that's what you have to do, because that's what I did, is I listened to oh, I think you should do this. Oh, really? Okay, well, sign me up. You know what I'm saying? So glad to be in a place in my life where I am able to say, you know what, nah, that's not serving me well. But, thanks for the consideration, and thank you for your thoughts, because, hey, I appreciate that. So once again, it's okay to keep people at arm's length until you figure out who serves you well and who isn't serving you well, because sometimes you have to put people at arm's length to kind of figure out, oh, wow, I feel a little bit better. Oh, wow, I didn't realize that person, was kind of dragging me down, because it happens, it happens. And hopefully you don't have anybody in your life like that, but I can tell you that, that used to be where I was at. But, you just have, now, you get to a place and you choose your friends wisely, and you just kind of know, like attracts like. So, when you are, you surround yourself with who you are. Okay. So hi, Stacy. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm now recovered. I was just recovering from Orange Theory, and thought that I would jump on and just share a couple of things with you. And I hope you enjoyed this fabulous day. And I'm looking at this mom over here with this kid that's just screaming and jumping and down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember when my kids did that. Hi, Sarah. I miss you. I've been thinking about you lately. So yeah, rise above, do what serves you well. When you're in alignment. Okay, you just know it, and you know when you're not, because I tell you, you have to get in tuned with that. Because if you don't know, then you better start, feeling your way through life. Okay, you got to start feeling your way through life, because it is the best way to live your life. All right, well, I love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in.